Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday English Pod. You know how sometimes you hit a wall when you're learning English?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you just feel stuck.
Totally.
Well, today we're going to unpack something that can totally change that. It's all about self-belief.
You got it. And it's not just about learning English either.
Right, it's about everything.
It affects how you learn, how you grow.
How you achieve any goal, really.
If you're the kind of person who loves learning new things,
And seeing things from different angles.
then this is definitely the episode for you.
So let's jump right in. What exactly is self-belief?
Well, it's like this deep down trust in yourself. You know, that feeling that you can handle whatever comes your way.
Like challenges and stuff.
Exactly. You know, you can face those challenges and you'll get where you want to go.
And how does that play into learning English specifically?
Think about it when you believe you can get better at English.
Okay.
You're way more likely to stick with it even when it gets tough.
Yeah, because learning a new language, it's not always easy.
Not at all. There are going to be times when you make mistakes.
Definitely.
But those mistakes, they're not a bad thing.
You actually learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. They're part of the process.
So if you have that self-belief,
You won't give up easily.
right, you'll see those mistakes as opportunities to learn.
Now, on the flip side, if you lack self-belief,
Well,
that can really hold you back.
how so?
Well, if you keep thinking, I'm just not good at English,
Yeah.
you're actually less likely to even try.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is. You create this mental block.
But when you believe in yourself,
It's like having a superpower.
it pushes you to take action.
To practice more, to stay consistent.
So it's not just about feeling good.
It's about actually taking those steps to improve.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I used to think that self-belief was something you're either born with or you're not.
Yeah, I get that.
But it turns out that's not true at all.
Not even close. Self-belief is something you can actually build.
Like a muscle.
Exactly. You can strengthen it over time.
So how do we start building that self-belief muscle?
The key is to start small, focus on those small wins.
Small wins.
Yeah, those little achievements that give you a boost.
Okay, I like that.
Set yourself some really achievable goals, things you know you can do. Like maybe learning 5 new English words every day.
5 words, that's doable.
Right. And when you hit that goal, you get this little burst of confidence.
It's proof that you can do it.
Exactly. And those small wins, they start to add up.
Like building blocks.
Each one is a little piece of evidence that says, hey, I'm capable.
It's almost like training your brain to believe in yourself.
That's a great way to put it. You're creating these positive neural pathways.
So each time you succeed, no matter how small,
It reinforces that belief in your abilities.
I love that analogy of building blocks.
It's a visual way to think about it, you know?
Yeah, it makes it feel more tangible.
And here's another important piece. Don't just achieve those goals, celebrate them.
Oh, that's important.
It is. You got to acknowledge your progress,
Even the small stuff.
especially the small stuff.
Why is that?
Because it's so easy to get caught up in how far you still have to go.
Right, you're always looking ahead.
And you forget to look back at how far you've already come.
Yeah, it's like you're so focused on the destination.
That you miss the scenery along the way,
So take a moment to celebrate those milestones.
no matter how small they might seem.
Like, think back to when you first started learning English.
Maybe you struggled just to say hello,
Yeah, or to order a coffee.
but now you can have short conversations.
That's amazing progress.
Right, and you got to acknowledge that.
Celebrate those wins.
It's like giving yourself a pat on the back.
Now let's talk about something that I think is really crucial. The people we surround ourselves with.
Oh yeah, our support system.
How do they influence our self-belief?
Well, think about it. When you have people who believe in you, who support your goals, who encourage you,
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference.
It's like having a cheerleading squad,
Exactly. They give you that extra boost when you need it.
especially when you're feeling doubtful.
Right, when those negative thoughts start creeping in.
And how can we create that kind of supportive environment?
One way is to join a community of learners.
Like an English learning group.
Exactly. You can share your challenges and your successes with each other.
And you realize you're not alone in this.
Right. Everyone's going through similar struggles.
And celebrating those wins together.
That's huge. It creates this sense of shared accomplishment.
And it makes the journey more enjoyable.
Much more.
Now, we've talked about how to build self-belief. But what about those moments when doubt still creeps in?
Yeah, those pesky doubts.
What do we do when those negative thoughts pop up?
It's important to remember that those doubts are normal.
They are.
Everyone experiences them, even the most successful people.
So we're not alone in feeling doubtful sometimes.
Not at all. It's part of being human.
Okay, so how do we handle those doubts?
One strategy is to remind yourself of your past successes.
Like what?
Think about times when you've overcome challenges in the past.
Not just in English learning, but in any area of life.
Exactly. Maybe you aced a tough exam.
Or you got that promotion you were working toward.
Or you learned to ride a bike.
Yeah, anything that felt challenging at first.
And you succeeded.
By reminding ourselves of those past wins.
We reinforce that belief that we're capable.
We're basically telling ourselves, hey, I've done this before, I can do it again.
Exactly. You're drawing on that inner strength.
That's a great reminder.
Now, aside from remembering past successes, there are other strategies for dealing with those doubts.
Like what?
Well, one common trap is comparing ourselves to others.
Oh yeah, the comparison game.
It's so easy to scroll through social media.
And see people who seem to have it all figured out.
Right, and we start to feel inadequate.
Especially when it comes to language learning.
You see those people who are fluent in English.
You think, I'll never be that good.
But here's the thing, everyone's journey is different.
Right, we all have our own pace.
And those fluent speakers, they didn't get there overnight.
They really put in a ton of time and effort.
Exactly. So instead of comparing yourself,
Sure we do.
use their success as inspiration. Think, if they can do it, I can too.
But focus on your own progress.
Celebrate your own wins.
Don't get caught up in what others are doing.
Because comparison really can steal your joy.
And it can definitely damage your self-belief.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned another strategy earlier. Preparation.
Yes. Preparation is key.
How does that help with self-belief?
When you feel prepared for a situation.
Like what kind of situation?
Let's say you have a job interview in English.
Okay.
Or you need to give a presentation.
Or even just order food at a restaurant.
If you take some time to prepare beforehand, you'll feel more confident.
What kind of preparation?
It could be practicing what you want to say.
Like writing down some key phrases.
Exactly, or researching common interview questions.
Or even just looking up the menu online.
The more prepared you feel,
The less anxious you'll be.
Exactly, you'll have that sense of, I got this.
Preparation gives you that extra edge.
It takes away that fear of the unknown.
Now, what about those little pep talks we give ourselves?
You mean positive affirmations?
Yeah. Do those actually work?
They absolutely do.
Really?
It might seem simple, but repeating positive phrases to yourself.
Like what?
Things like, I'm getting better at English every day.
Or, I can handle this.
Exactly. Those affirmations, they gradually shift your mindset.
From doubt to belief.
It's like reprogramming your inner voice.
So instead of focusing on the negative,
You're consciously choosing to focus on the positive.
I can see how that would make a difference over time.
It's about retraining your brain to believe in yourself.
And it's not just about words, there's also visualization.
Oh yeah, visualization is powerful.
What exactly is that?
It's basically taking the time to imagine yourself succeeding. Picture yourself speaking English fluently and confidently.
Okay.
Imagine yourself understanding a movie without subtitles.
Wow, I like that.
Really engage all your senses in this visualization.
So it's not just seeing it in your mind.
It's about feeling it, hearing it, experiencing it.
I've heard that athletes do this before competitions.
They do. They visualize themselves winning.
And it helps them perform better.
Exactly, because your brain doesn't always distinguish between
Real and imagined experiences.
Right, so when you visualize yourself succeeding,
We're actually preparing your brain for success.
you're reducing your fear of failure.
And you're boosting your confidence.
It's a simple, yet incredibly effective technique.
Now, here's something that's really important. It's not enough to just think positively.
Yeah, you got to take action.
Even when you're feeling doubtful.
Exactly, push past that fear and just do it.
So if you're scared to speak English,
Speak English.
even if it's just to yourself.
Or with a language partner.
Or an online group.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
So it's about taking those small steps.
Even when you don't feel 100% ready.
Action builds confidence.
It does, and it helps to quiet those doubts.
Now let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about building self-belief. But how do we make it stick?
You mean, how do we make it a lasting part of who we are?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any habits we can cultivate?
Absolutely. Habits are key.
Like what?
Well, first, create routines that support your goals. If you want to improve your English,
Okay.
set aside a specific time each day for practice.
Even if it's just for 15 minutes.
Right. The key is consistency.
So it becomes a regular part of your day.
Exactly like brushing your teeth.
You don't think twice about it, you just do it.
And another really powerful habit is journaling.
Journaling.
Yeah, take a few minutes each day to write about your progress.
What should we write about?
Anything that comes to mind?
Like what?
Maybe you learned a new phrase.
Or you had a conversation in English.
Or you felt proud of yourself for trying something new.
So it's about documenting our wins.
And also your challenges.
Oh, why is that important?
Because it helps you to track your growth
To see how far you've come.
and to identify areas where you need to focus.
So journaling helps us to stay motivated.
Absolutely. And it also helps us to practice gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah, taking a moment to appreciate the good things in our lives.
How does that tie into self-belief?
When you focus on the positive, it shifts your overall mindset.
From negativity to positivity.
Exactly. And that makes it easier to believe in yourself.
So journaling is like a double whammy.
It is. It helps you to track your progress and cultivate gratitude.
I like that.
And speaking of positivity, another crucial habit is to surround yourself with it.
Like what kind of positivity?
It could be anything that lifts your spirits.
Like what?
Maybe it's listening to motivational podcasts.
Or reading inspiring books.
Or watching videos of people who have achieved amazing things.
So we're talking about consciously choosing positive content.
Exactly, because it's so easy to get bombarded with negativity.
Especially online.
Right, so you got to actively seek out the good stuff.
It's like creating your own little positivity bubble.
I like that analogy.
And finally, when you're setting your goals, make sure they're realistic and trackable.
You got it.
So instead of saying, I'll become fluent in English,
Break it down into smaller steps.
like I'll learn 50 new words this month.
Exactly, because those smaller wins, they give you that sense of accomplishment.
They make the journey feel less daunting.
And they strengthen your belief that you can actually reach your ultimate goal.
So it's about setting ourselves up for success.
By creating a clear roadmap with realistic milestones.
And don't forget to reward yourself along the way.
That's important. Celebrate those wins, big or small.
It makes the journey more enjoyable.
And it keeps you motivated.
Now, we've covered a lot about what self-belief is.
And some practical ways to build it.
But I've heard this term growth mindset thrown around a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's a really important concept.
How does it connect with self-belief?
Well, a growth mindset is all about seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
Instead of seeing them as roadblocks.
Exactly. It's about embracing the learning process.
Even when it gets tough.
Right, because with a growth mindset, you understand that.
You're not perfect.
And you're going to make mistakes.
But those mistakes are not failures.
They're simply part of the journey.
So it's about changing how we view challenges.
From something to avoid.
Something to embrace.
Exactly.
So how does this apply to language learning?
Let's say you're struggling with English grammar.
Okay.
Someone with a fixed mindset might think,
I'm just bad at grammar.
right, they see it as a limitation.
But someone with a growth mindset would think.
This is a challenge I can overcome.
So they see it as an opportunity to learn.
To develop their skills.
It's about believing that you can get better.
Even if it takes time and effort.
And that effort is worthwhile.
Absolutely. Because with a growth mindset,
You're not afraid to make mistakes.
you see them as valuable feedback.
That helps you to improve.
Exactly.
So a growth mindset really encourages us to take risks.
Because we're not afraid of failure.
We see it as part of the learning process.
So you're more likely to try new things.
Like speaking English in real-world situations.
Exactly. Even if it feels a little scary at first.
And each time you do
You
that,
gain more confidence.
and you reinforce that growth mindset,
It's a positive cycle.
it's like the more you practice, the more you believe in yourself.
And the more you believe in yourself.
The more you're willing to practice.
Exactly.
Now, another key element of a growth mindset.
Is self-compassion.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
It means treating yourself with kindness and understanding.
Especially when you make mistakes.
Right. It's about recognizing that.
Everyone learns at their own pace.
And that's okay.
So instead of beating yourself up,
Be patient with yourself.
encourage yourself. Celebrate your progress.
Exactly.
How does resilience fit into this?
Resilience is all about bouncing back from setbacks.
So when things don't go according to plan,
You don't give up.
you learn from the experience,
And you try again.
maybe with a slightly different approach.
Exactly.
So for example, if you're having trouble understanding spoken English,
Maybe try watching movies with subtitles.
or listening to podcasts at a slower speed,
It's about finding ways to support yourself,
and to keep moving forward.
even when it's challenging.
Now, we touched on this a bit earlier, but let's dive a little deeper into positive affirmations and visualization.
Those are two powerful tools for building self-belief.
Let's start with affirmations. Why are they so effective?
Well, affirmations are basically positive statements that you repeat to yourself.
Like what?
Things like, I am becoming a fluent English speaker.
Or I am confident in my abilities.
Exactly. And by consistently repeating those phrases,
You start to believe them.
right, it's about consciously shifting your mindset
From negativity to positivity.
and from doubt to belief.
So it's like reprogramming your inner voice.
Exactly. You're replacing those negative thoughts
With positive and empowering ones.
And over time, those affirmations, they start to reshape how you see yourself.
And what you believe you're capable of achieving.
It's like planting seeds of positivity in your mind.
And those seeds eventually grow into strong beliefs.
Exactly.
And the great thing about affirmations is that you can use them anytime, anywhere.
Right, whenever you need a boost.
Like before a job interview.
Or a presentation.
Or even just a conversation in English.
Just take a moment to repeat those positive phrases to yourself.
And it can really help to calm your nerves.
And boost your confidence.
Now, what about visualization? You mentioned that earlier. How does that work?
Visualization is all about creating a clear mental picture of yourself achieving your goals. So imagine yourself speaking English fluently and effortlessly.
Okay.
Picture yourself understanding every word in a conversation.
Wow, I like that.
Really engage your senses.
What do you mean?
What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel?
Make it as real as possible in your mind.
Exactly. The more vivid the visualization, the more powerful it is.
And why is this so effective?
Because when you visualize yourself succeeding, you're sending a powerful message to your brain. We're saying, this is possible, I can do this.
And your brain starts to believe it.
Exactly. It's like mental rehearsal.
Like practicing for the real thing.
And the more you practice in your mind,
The more confident you'll feel when you face the real situation.
absolutely.
Now, here's a crucial point. Affirmations and visualization, they're not magic.
Right. They won't work if you just sit back and wait for things to happen.
You got to take action.
Exactly. You got to put in the effort.
So visualize yourself speaking English fluently.
And then go practice speaking English.
Repeat those positive affirmations.
And then take steps to make them a reality.
Action is key.
It's what bridges the gap between imagination and reality.
And it's what ultimately builds lasting self-belief.
Absolutely.
Now, we've talked a lot about individual effort.
But let's not forget the importance of our support system.
You mean the people around us?
Exactly. Our friends, our family, our teachers.
Our mentors, our colleagues.
Anyone who believes in us and supports our goals.
Why is that support so crucial for building self-belief?
Well, think about it when you're surrounded by positive people.
Who encourage you and lift you up.
It makes a huge difference.
It does. It gives you that extra strength to keep going.
Especially when things get tough.
Right, when you start to doubt yourself.
Having those supportive people around you.
It's like having a safety net.
They remind you of your worth.
They help you to see your potential.
And they celebrate your wins with you.
Exactly.
So how can we create that kind of supportive network?
One way is to join communities of like-minded people.
Like what?
You could be an English learning group.
Or an online forum?
Or even just a group of friends who share your passion for learning.
The key is to surround yourself with the people who
believe in growth.
And who are supportive of each other's journeys.
Exactly.
And don't underestimate the power of sharing your struggles.
Sometimes just talking about what you're going through
can make a huge difference.
It helps you to feel less alone.
And to get valuable advice and support.
Right.
And it's not just about receiving support, it's also about giving support.
Absolutely, when you help others. You often end up helping yourself.
It's true, because when you share your knowledge and experience,
you reinforce those things for yourself.
And you build confidence in your abilities.
So support is a two-way street.
It is, and it's a vital part of building lasting self-belief.
Now, you mentioned role models earlier. How do they fit into this picture?
Role models are people who inspire us.
Who show us what's possible.
And who give us something to aspire to.
They can be anyone.
Famous people, historical figures.
Even people in our everyday lives.
Like teachers, mentors, friends, family members.
Anyone who embodies the qualities we admire.
Exactly.
Why are role models so important for building self-belief?
Because they show us that our dreams are achievable. When we see someone who has overcome challenges
and achieved great things,
it gives us hope.
It makes us believe that we can do it too.
It's like seeing a living example of what's possible.
And it's not just about their achievements. It's also about their mindset.
How they approach challenges.
How they handle setbacks.
How they stay motivated.
We can learn so much from their stories.
And apply those lessons to our own lives.
So role models provide us with inspiration.
And with practical strategies.
For achieving our goals.
Exactly.
But here's an important caveat. Don't compare yourself to your role models in a negative way.
Right. Don't get caught up in thinking,
I'll never be as good as them.
because everyone's journey is unique.
We all have our own strengths and weaknesses.
And our own timeline for success.
So use role models as a source of inspiration.
But don't let them make you feel inadequate.
Focus on your own progress.
Celebrate your own wins.
And believe in your own potential.
Absolutely.
Now, we've talked about success in achieving goals, but what about failure?
Ah, yes. Failure is a part of life.
It's something we all experience at some point.
But how we view failure.
That's what really matters.
Exactly.
So how can we reframe failure in a way that actually strengthens our self-belief,
The key is to see failure not as an end point.
but as a learning opportunity?
It's a chance to grow and improve.
So instead of saying, I failed,
Say, I learned something.
and what did you learn?
What went wrong? What could you do differently next time?
It's about analyzing the situation
And extracting valuable lessons from it.
so that you can move forward with more knowledge and experience.
Exactly.
Now, a lot of people fear failure.
But the truth is,
Most successful people have failed many times.
it's true, they just didn't give up.
They kept trying,
They learned from their mistakes.
and they eventually achieved their goals.
So failure is not the opposite of success.
It's part of the path to success.
It's a stepping stone.
And the more you embrace that,
The stronger your self-belief will become.
the stronger your self-belief will become.
Now, another helpful tip is to share your experiences with others.
Oh, yeah, talking about your failures.
Can be really liberating
It helps you to normalize it,
to realize that you're not alone,
and it can also be inspiring to others.
because it shows them that
It's okay to make mistakes,
it's okay to stumble.
as long as you get back up and keep going.
So share your story. It might just help someone else.
And it will definitely help you.
Now let's revisit those daily habits.
The ones that can help us to build and maintain strong self-belief.
Okay, let's recap.
So first we have positive affirmations,
Starting your day with those positive statements.
like I am capable or I am worthy.
It sets the tone for the whole day.
It's like giving yourself a mental boost.
Exactly.
Then we have setting small, achievable goals
Breaking down those big dreams into smaller steps.
so that you experience regular wins.
And you build momentum.
Next, we have journaling
Taking the time to reflect on your progress.
and to practice gratitude
It's a powerful way to stay motivated.
and to cultivate a positive mindset.
Absolutely.
Then there's mindfulness or meditation
Spending a few minutes each day to quiet your mind,
to focus on your breath.
to connect with yourself.
This helps to reduce stress and anxiety,
And it promotes self-awareness.
which is essential for building self-belief.
Right.
And let's not forget physical activity.
Oh, yeah. Exercise is amazing.
It boosts your mood,
It increases your energy levels,
and it helps you to feel more confident in your body.
which can translate to more confidence in other areas of your life.
Absolutely. The key with all of these habits is consistency.
You got it.
Make them a regular part of your routine.
Even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Small, consistent efforts over time.
That's what leads to lasting change.
Now, you also mentioned visualization. How can we use that to enhance our self-belief?
Visualization is a really powerful technique.
But it's important to do it right.
So here are some tips.
First, make it vivid and detailed.
Engage all your senses.
What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel?
Make it as real as possible in your mind.
And don't just focus on the outcome.
Visualize the process too.
What do you mean?
So if your goal is to speak English fluently,
Okay.
don't just picture yourself having a conversation. Imagine yourself studying vocabulary,
Practicing pronunciation.
joining a language exchange group
Visualize all the steps you're taking.
to achieve your goal.
This makes the journey feel more tangible.
And it reinforces your belief that you're actually doing the work.
And here's another important point. Don't just visualize.
Take action.
So after you've spent some time visualizing,
Go do something to move you closer to your goal.
even if it's a small step,
Right. Action is key.
it's what turns those dreams into reality.
And it's what reinforces your belief that you're capable.
Now, what about those times when we get stuck in negative self-talk?
Those pesky negative thoughts.
They can be so hard to shake.
But there are strategies for dealing with them.
Like what?
Well, the first step is to become aware of them.
To notice when those negative thoughts are popping up.
Exactly, because often we're not even conscious of them.
So it's just running on autopilot in the background.
So pay attention to your inner voice.
What's it saying to you?
Is it critical? Is it doubtful? Is it discouraging?
Once you become aware of those negative thoughts,
You can start to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought really true?
or is it just a fear or an insecurity? Look for evidence to support or refute the thought.
Exactly.
And then once you've challenged the negative thought,
replace it with a positive one.
so if you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough,
Consciously change that to, I am capable and I am learning.
it might feel forced at first.
But with practice, it becomes more natural.
It's about retraining your brain to think more positively.
Exactly.
Now, another helpful tip is to practice self-compassion.
Oh, yeah, that's so important.
What does that mean?
It means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding.
That you would offer to a close friend.
Right. So if you make a mistake,
Don't beat yourself up about it.
instead acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on.
And sometimes it can be helpful to write down those negative thoughts.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And then next to